The Labubu hunt, how I finally got a real Pop Mart Labubu after hours of tapping madness. The wild, game-like frenzy behind the Labubu craze is nothing short of exhausting, and that's just buying one legally. Last Thursday night, I found myself stuck in a nail-biting loop, switching back and forth between a TikTok live broadcast and a shopping app, all eagerly waiting for the clock to strike 9:30 p.m. For a full half hour, I relentlessly hunted for any available Labubu listing. Frustrations ran high, and many choice words were muttered under my breath. I acted like a bot, spamming the screen with taps, only to get locked out of the app multiple times. My thumbs ached from the constant tapping. Welcome to Labubu drop night. What many miss in the Labubu phenomenon is just how infuriating it actually is to purchase an authentic figurine from the original source. Sure, numerous knockoff versions exist, https://www.nytimes.com/2025/06//style/fake-lafufus-pop-mart.html, like the Lafufus, which some collectors have come to appreciate in their own right. But if you're after a guaranteed genuine Labubu, you must buy from Pop Mart, the Chinese company behind these collectibles, which has devised an almost Sisyphean process that shoppers must endure. It's a bizarre kind of initiation ordeal where your patience and perseverance are tested, and if you're lucky, you walk away with that tiny, elusive figure at the end. Unlike many sought-after or trendy collectibles where price is the main hurdle, Labubu's primary barrier isn't the $27.99 price tag, it's mastering an intricate, often baffling buying ritual. I devoted an entire day just to understanding how to secure an authentic Labubu through Pop Mart. It's far from a simple, click-and-buy, transaction where speed alone decides the victor. Instead, Pop Mart cultivates a digital chaos reminiscent of the frenzy seen on Black Friday in physical stores. The app features playful animations showing display cases stocked with up to 6 Labubus boxes each. Mere seconds after these boxes appear, they grey out, signaling someone else has tentatively grabbed them. If you haven't landed a Labubu, you're forced to endlessly scroll through an overwhelming number of display cases, hunting for the rare box that's momentarily available. More often than not, you're furiously tapping away, watching timers on grayed-out boxes count down until they become available again. Essentially, you have to approach buying a Labubu like playing a mobile game where timing and speed are crucial, just to earn the opportunity to purchase. Because the Pop Mart app's complexity and quirks can stump newcomers, there's a thriving ecosystem of online guides, tips, and hacks aimed at helping players outsmart the system. https://2k-talk.pxf.io/21608%(2f%(2f)w.tk-talk.com%(2f%(40 sleepesbuff%(2) F video%(2f752440903513157148 Some social media influencers have built entire channels centered on revealing how to snag Pop Mart's hottest items, racking up millions of views from desperate collectors. https://2k-talk.pxf.io/c/21618questionmark u=f%(3a%(2f)w.tk-talk.com%(2f)%(2f)w.tk-talk.com%(2f)%(2f)w.www.tk-talk.com%(2f)%(2 Some of these pointers genuinely helped me, for one, whenever I was locked out of the app after hammering the screen, toggling Wi-Fi on and off actually resolved the issue. But many tips proved impossible or too demanding to follow. Devoted fans swear by sticking it out for hours on Pop Mart's marathon TikTok live streams, waiting for the host to magically release Labubus for purchase on the shopping page. Personally, the host's auction house-style monologues were far more exhausting than entertaining. After about 30 minutes of relentless, two-handed tapping, near misses, and frustrating error messages, I finally managed to snap up a grey box precisely the instant it became available. That mystery Labubu was mine. I shook the digital box, teasing out clues about the color of the figure inside. It was neither orange nor green, colors some collectors obsess over. While I didn't have a preference, I've heard others abandon boxes if the inside figure isn't their favorite shade. Following checkout, I chose to reveal my purchase early. It turned out to be Hope, a blue Labubu. It's no shock that Labubus have blown up like this. The more you see them, the cuter, maybe even more enchanting, they become. But they are far from the first blind box toy craze to sweep collectors. https://www.vox.com/culture/3573644/sunny-angel-hippus-shortage-explained. Here's where it gets controversial. Some argue Labubus mirror gambling behaviors. The excitement comes not only from owning the figure but from the reveal, the heart-pounding chance of landing a rare color found in just 1 out of every 72 boxes. It's addictive, pure and simple. Yet the deeper I dived into Labubu forums and Pop Mart's ecosystem, the clearer it became. The toy itself almost feels secondary to the grueling journey it takes to get one. Authentic Labubus symbolize the hours of effort, strategy, and sheer luck invested before the box is even opened. A friend who has amassed dozens of Labubus told me that flipping these dolls for profit is rarely worthwhile unless you're dealing with unopened boxes or coveted rare colors. The resale margins are razor thin. The ubiquity of cheaper Lafufus no doubt depresses prices further. The true value lies in the absurd hoops customers must leap through just for a shot at a collectible. Google Trends data reflects this fever pitch. Labubu searches are at an all-time high. The TikTok live streams will keep droning on, bots will continue their nightly raids, and unboxing videos will rack up viral views. The hype shows no signs of fading, at least not until the buying process stops feeling like a form of torture, and these tiny figures, which, fun fact, are canonically girls according to NBC News. https://www.nbcnews.com/select/what-is-a-labubu-rcn210622 are simply toys again, no longer a symbol of one's digital grit. When will that day come? No one knows for sure. My Labubu is expected to ship in September. Until then, the chase, and the debate, goes on. What do you think? Is this frenzy an exciting new frontier for collectible culture, or just an exhausting game of luck and frustration? Share your thoughts below. Do you see Labubus as an innovative pastime or a maddening exercise in futility? The rise of Labubu, the latest collectible plush craze. Imagine a world where a small, grinning monster doll becomes the talk of the town, captivating both collectors and fashion enthusiasts alike. Welcome to the Labubu phenomenon, a modern-day collectible sensation that's sweeping the globe. But here's where it gets controversial. Why would a creature inspired by Nordic mythology suddenly become the latest obsession for adults across the planet? In the annals of toy history, we've witnessed crazes like the Cabbage Patch Kids in the 1980s and Beanie Babies in the 90s. Now, Labubu has emerged as the latest darling, thanks to its transformation from a character in Kazing Lung's picture book series, The Monsters, into a coveted collectible by Pop Mart. These charming yet eerie dolls, designed by a Hong Kong-born Belgian artist, have captured hearts and wallets worldwide. For many young adults, Labubu isn't just a toy, it's a fashion statement. In fact, one collector managed to sell their Labubu for a staggering 6 figures, despite its retail price being around $30. Such high demand has led to a proliferation of counterfeit versions, often referred to as Lafufus. According to Samantha Connell, associate editor of the Toy Insider, these knockoffs are typically made with subpar materials, underscoring the importance of supporting legitimate manufacturers. The Labubu craze has blossomed into a billion-dollar industry, partly fueled by celebrity endorsements. K-pop star Lisa, a member of Blackpink, sparked interest in the United States by sharing her affection for the doll in a Vanity Fair interview. Since then, numerous celebrities have joined the fray, including Brad Pitt, Sarah Jessica Parker, Cher, Emma Roberts, Tom Brady, and Lizzo. Their public displays of Labubu have further ignited the trend. Resale prices reflect the intense demand, with Labubus fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars on secondary markets. This scarcity has prompted some to seek out counterfeit versions, believing they offer a more affordable alternative. Noelle Dorman, a Labubu enthusiast, admitted to purchasing a cheaper replica, though she acknowledged its lower quality. Toy experts predict that Labubu's popularity won't fade anytime soon. People are constantly seeking ways to inject fun and whimsy into their lives, Connell explained. Labubu offers a perfect opportunity to do just that. And this is the part most people miss: the enduring appeal of Labubu lies in its ability to bridge generations and cultures, offering a playful escape from everyday routines. Whether you're a die-hard collector or simply looking for a quirky accessory, Labubu provides a delightful addition to any collection. So, what do you think? Will you join the Labubu revolution, or will you stick with more traditional collectibles? Share your thoughts in the comments below.